Calvin Johnson made one of the biggest impacts in the NFL in the shortest span of time. He is one of the greatest wide receivers in NFL history and will be known as one of the most unguardable players in the sport. But we're going to talk about his career as a whole. Calvin Johnson is a former NFL wide receiver and one of the best wideouts in the history of the sport. Calvin Johnson was born in the state of Georgia and was one of the nation's top recruits when it came to college recruitment. Calvin Johnson attended the Sandy Creek High School in Tyrone, Georgia. From there, Calvin Johnson committed to Georgia Tech, and in each of his 3 seasons with the Yellow Jackets, he was an absolute dog, earning first-team All-ACC from 2004 and 2006, and also was named the ACC Rookie of the Year as a true freshman in 2004. He continued his rise in the next 2 years, as we spoke before, earning first-team All-Recognition in 2005 and 2006, as well as earning the ACC Player of the Year and earning the Blitnikoff Award, given to the best wide receiver in the entire nation of college football. With that phenomenal performance and dominance in college, Calvin Johnson knew the NFL draft was next, and he entered in 2007. And this is where Calvin Johnson was selected 2nd overall by the Detroit Lions in the 2007 NFL draft. This is where Calvin spent his entire career, dating from 2007 to 2015. Here, he earned his nickname Megatron, broke records, made Pro Bowls, and All-Pros. He became one of the most dominant receivers ever. Calvin Johnson went to 6 straight Pro Bowls from 2010 and 2015, and in that stretch as well, earning 3 first-team All-Pros. He led the NFL in receiving yards in 2011 and 2012. And 2012 was the season, when he also led the league in receptions. Calvin Johnson has a list of unbelievable records he holds in both college and the NFL. His NFL most notable records include the single-season receiving yards record with 1,964 yards in 2012, as well as the single-game receiving yards record with 329 yards in 2013. Calvin Johnson also has the most games with at least 100 yards receiving in a season, with 11, tied with the late great Michael Irvin, as well as having the most games with at least 200 receiving yards in his career, tied 5 with Lance Allworth. Calvin has been inducted into both the College and Pro Football Hall of Fame, rightfully so. Calvin Johnson had done everything there was to do as far as a single player's aspect. He had made the All-Pros, he got the big contract, he has the records, he has the Pro Bowls. But the problem for Calvin Johnson was never the independent success, never the personal accolades. It was more so the team and playoff success. That is one thing Calvin Johnson never was able to obtain in his entire career, was a playoff win. Calvin Johnson made 2 trips to the playoffs. Both were wild cards. His first ever appearance was January 7th, 2012 versus the New Orleans Saints, where he had 211 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and 12 receptions. But it wasn't enough for his team to get the win, sending him home. It wasn't until 3 seasons later that Calvin Johnson had got his second ever playoff appearance, where he had 5 receptions and 85 yards and no touchdowns. This was the last time Calvin Johnson ever played a football game, and this was the last time he played in the playoffs. Calvin Johnson never won a playoff game and was 0-2 in his career. He said due to the lack of playoff performance and playoff success that the team had brought was the reason why he retired early in his career. Calvin Johnson retired in 2015, and in his life after football, he has co-founded a cannabis business in Michigan called Primitive. While Calvin did not start using marijuana until he got to Georgia Tech, he needed it to deal with pain as a professional football player. Through Primitive, Calvin aims to not only sell a high-quality product, but also to erase the stigma about marijuana, partner with the NFL and normalize its use in the league, and further research on its effects. Calvin Johnson and his former teammate and now business partner Rob Sims have also partnered with Harvard University to study the potential impact of cannabis on CTE. Calvin Johnson has done pretty much everything there is to do. He now stays reluctant with the cannabis industry, trying to further help NFL players. But that's going to be it for the video, man. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.